People living in the Midwestern United States are experiencing freezing temperatures, and in some places it could drop lower than Antarctica. It's down to a large blast of Arctic air caused by what's known as a polar vortex, which is moving across the Midwest and some southern states. In Minneapolis, temperatures fell to minus 33 degrees Celsius with a wind chill minus 46. In Chicago, they fell to minus 29, colder than Siberia and Mount Everest. From Chicago, our US correspondent Hannah Thomas-Peter reports now.
A stunning scene in Chicago, one of America's major cities in a deep freeze. Arctic air rushing south, creating what's known as a polar vortex. They haven't experienced cold like this for a generation. It's so cold that your eyelashes are frozen.
Yeah, it's definitely chilly.
What's it like being outside in these temperatures?
Oh, my dear lordy, it is cold. My teeth are cold.
My lips are frozen, and I've only been out here about 2 minutes.
You're shivering.
Yes, I am. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. We don't get this cold.
With the wind chill, these are dangerous conditions that have already been blamed for several deaths. Hypothermia and frostbite are very real risks. The homeless population particularly vulnerable.
No one in need of a safe or warm place to stay will be turned away. No one. Our number one priority is the safety and security of our residents, especially the most vulnerable.
There's more brutal cold to come. Over the next day or so, the polar vortex will move east from here, continuing to affect tens of millions of people across this country. That means many schools and businesses will stay closed. Airports will continue to cancel flights. And driving on frozen roads will remain dangerous for those who haven't heeded the warnings to stay home. In a few days, it is due to warm up. But for now, in places like Chicago, where it's been colder than Antarctica, there is little to do but stay inside and wait for this record-breaking cold to end. Hannah Thomas-Peter, Sky News in Chicago.
Now, at least 12 people have died in the United States as a result of some of the coldest temperatures in the country for a generation. In Chicago, record lows are expected as a result of the bitter cold caused by air from the North Pole. Several states have declared a state of emergency, with many schools, colleges and businesses closed. Chris Buckler has sent this report.
It is minus 27, 28 Celsius as I speak to you at the moment. It has been dropping. We're expected to get about minus 30 Celsius. But here in the Windy City, there are warnings about wind chill that is making it feel even colder. And in some parts of the Midwest, it's already felt below minus 50 Celsius. Now, there's snow and there's ice, and as you just mentioned there, if you take a look behind me, you will see that the river is completely frozen over. Here in Chicago, it is so incredibly cold. I'll tell you, the only way to describe it really is it's painfully cold. My face, my ears, my fingers are very, very cold, despite the fact that we are taking precautions. And of course, that's one of the big concerns for people. There are people who are homeless. They've been taken to warming centres in some cases just to try and keep them warm tonight. But this is dangerously cold, and already there have been some people killed in traffic accidents because of the ice and snow, but also from just being exposed to this cold. It is so cold at the moment that the meteorologists will tell you that just 10 minutes standing in this kind of temperature can give you frostbite, and already plenty of people have gone to the hospital because of that problem. I must say that we have shelter just beside us here. We're at a hotel where we can get heat and we can get warmth. We're not too far away, and we're also wearing plenty of equipment. But that is the worry, that people are going to go out into this. And I have to say, here in Chicago, people, in my opinion, have been sticking to that. As we were driving into Chicago this evening, the road's extremely quiet. As I talk to you now around me, very, very quiet streets. People are staying off the roads. And it is very simply a once-in-a-generation kind of cold this. There are chances that this could become a record for Chicago tonight. They think it's probably going to be a couple of degrees off the record for all-time cold. But there are also people who are frankly enjoying it. You've probably already seen that there have been people who have been using water pistols, putting hot water into water pistols and then firing it, and it immediately freezes you, hit the cold air. I've got myself a thermos mug here, and this will give you an idea of how cold it is. If I just unscrew this and I throw this in towards the water, you will see it immediately goes into steam and ice, and that just gives you an idea of how painfully cold it is at the moment. But very simply, people are being advised whenever they can to stay in and to stay out of this kind of cold.